the entire internet went out, so I'm gonna have to wait for you guys to hopefully see that I am on a different live now. We'll see, because right now it says nobody's here. I wonder if I can go on that other live and like make a note. Do you like that I just come on here and just, you know, shoot the shiz? But there's nobody on here anyway, so. Because you guys are all on my other live that died. Okay, let's see. Natalia, you found me. Yeah, I don't know if the other one is showing that I'm still there. I didn't know if I should. Nice to see you too, love. Yeah, I don't know what happened. If it's the storms here or whatever. Okay, hold on, because this replay should be available soon. If you are still watching this live, go to the new live feed I started because something happened. Okay, we'll see if that works, because I don't know where they all are. Anywho, but thank you for being here. So I don't know where it cut out before, or if this is going to work. I don't know what the hell's happening with my internet. But if it goes out again, I guess it's not meant to be, right? And I'm even like, I checked my computer and like I'm plugged directly into the internet, you know, because I don't risk that with my podcasting. So I know it's something, you know, it's not like just my Wi-Fi, if that makes sense. Yeah. Which is why I use my phone, because usually it's a little bit more consistent. Anywho, so yes, thank you for joining. Sorry about the hiccups. I don't know. But I love you all, and I wanted to do a 2026 reading. And for the 2026 reading, I wanted to kind of break it down month by month. And I think there will be something there for everyone. I know we usually do one-on-one readings, or, you know, like you guys are able to ask me a question. But with it being the new year and all, I want us to instead, hi Bonnie, I want us to instead, and you're not even late, because we're starting like 10 minutes late, because I started another one and had to come back on. So now I'm making sure. I left a note in the other one, so maybe people will come over here. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to do, like I said, a month to month. I also want to look at spirit animals, because there's a lot of stuff coming through right now for like working with animals. And if you don't work with animals, you don't work with spirit animals, you know, this is a really good year to start, because I feel like as our intuition gets stronger and as the veil thins, so does our ability to communicate and like plug into the earth, you know? So like not only have literal conversations with Mother Earth, but be able to tap into if you do have some sort of guide, you know? Yeah, dogs. I mean, what kind of dogs do you have? And you know, all animals are freaking awesome. Yeah, some people are still stuck on the other one. But I have 2 cats. I used to have 2 dogs, but we had them for like 12 to 13 long years, and they, you know, went to the Rainbow Bridge, or over the Rainbow Bridge. So I do feel though like this strong push to discover your spirit animal. So maybe if we have like extra time at the end, we could always, oh my gosh, mine were beagles. I had 2 beagles. I love beagles. Oh, my little babies. Yeah, my very first dog was a beagle. She was so freaking cute. She was like the runt of the litter, which you're not supposed to like pick out, you know, but I did because she was so freaking cute. And she had like mostly black and white on her, so she looked like a little moo cow. And then we named her Elsie. And we actually did that because long story, like my husband and I at the time, like years ago, obviously 13 years ago, we were binge watching The Hills. I don't know if there's anybody young that even doesn't know what that is, but there was Lauren Conrad. They called her LC. So it was funny because I joked and I was like, let's call her LC. And then maybe Elsie, like ELSIE. So it just kind of stuck. Then we found out that apparently, like, I don't even know, like in the 70s, 60s, that there was like an ad for milk. And I actually have seen it. It's still around on the label. But their mascot is a cow and its name's Elsie. It was so weird. It was like it was kismet, you know? Don't you just love stuff like that? Oh, Cece. Cute, cute, cute. I love it. All right, you guys. I am so happy you're here. And we will get started. I just have 2 of my Patreon people who were emailing me that they couldn't find this. Yeah, so good moment. Yeah, if you want to join Patreon, do that for 2026, guys. You can it's free. Like, you can join a free tier. You don't have to pay. But if you do pay, there's perks. So head over there. I do have some specials. Okay, I think you found it. Did you find it? Sweet. Okay. Let's get started, okay? You guys, I just can't anymore. Okay, on my back. Of course, my mom was calling me, and that's the reason I had it on Do Not Disturb the last time, because I knew I had a feeling my mom was gonna call me. Of course, you know, like, doesn't call me all day and then like waits until I'm live to call me, you know. But I took off the Do Not Disturb because I didn't know if something was happening on the last feed. Anyway, you guys probably think I'm just a scatterbrained crazy person, but that's okay. Because I love all of that stuff about you too. All right, but thank you everyone who's here, new and returning. Okay, so I've already grounded, believe it or not, into the earth, but of course, I feel like we're a little ungrounded now because, you know, technology issues. So if everyone wants to take a deep breath into the belly and then send it down through the earth, really connect into that nurturing, rooting Mother Earth energy. Love it. All right, and the cards have already been cleared and cleansed. So let's get started. 2026 collective. Okay. I'm putting out cards for every month, okay? So the reason I want to focus on the collective is because 2026 numerology, you know, you add all the numbers together, so we get 10, or 1 + 0, 1. Either way, these are like 10 is completion, 1 is brand new, a renewal. I feel like, and a lot of people feel this energy coming, and something strong that is going to be a very major reset. A reset personally, individually, but also a reset for us as a society, us as a world, us as humans, and obviously a lot of really big new beginnings of things. You know, like technological advances that we haven't even thought about being possible, things like that. There's going to be it's a lot. Like, you can just feel it when you tap into that energy. So I feel like it's very important for us as a collective to really honor that and work together in the new year, because I think as a group, we're going to be so much more powerful manifestation wise and staying true to the soul energy of the collective and not getting bogged down by like 3D stuff, meaning life stuff, human worries. We want to really tap into just spiritual this year. It's special. So in January, we have a push to follow your heart instead of your head. So as a collective, wanting us to kind of get out of our heads. I feel like 2025 was a tough year for a lot of people, and it was definitely a work hard type of year. If you wanted to get any sort of results, you had to kind of fight for it. And I also think it was a big year for release. So when we release a lot of our traumas or things that we have built up in our bodies, that is tapping into a place and shining light on a place that maybe we didn't acknowledge before. And obviously that requires some thinking. So we may have gone through a lot of work in 2025 in our heads, and now there's this push to instead focus on heart, focus on feeling, focus on excuse me, focus on making connections via our heart and decisions. Okay. Also, there is going to be some testing in January, testing of our faith. There's going to be not necessarily, I don't want to say like false prophets, but I do think that the world itself is going to be going through some big things leadership wise. And January, kind of February timeline, I think that it's going to be a test of many people's faith. It's going to really challenge you if you don't have a belief system. It's going to be very important going in with some sort of belief system. So if you are on here and you are in that period of growth where you are like, I'm spiritual, I don't want anything to do with Jesus or God, that's fine. Okay. I actually have a whole episode about it that, when we first like go through all of this soul searching, we usually, sorry, my throat chakra. I'm going to have to address that. I'm going to pull something for the throat chakra. Okay. But, yeah, there's something that the guides want to come out. Okay. We'll address it in a sec. But what I was saying was, that when we, okay, they want me to do it now. So I work like with my highest self. They talk to me kind of through my head. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's probably specific to this group listening right now. So if you found this, even the replay, there's a reason that you are popping on for this moment. There's throat chakra, third eye issues, which tells me that third eye, so that's our intuition, right? Our intuition is blocked, like as a group, okay? And what that means is you're probably ignoring a lot of the natural intuitive things that are starting to bubble up. And that goes along with me saying that you need a higher power in 2026, okay? There's this spiritual like sinking in happening. And if we don't clear those things, if you don't, oh my gosh, okay, yeah. So my highest self just said that that's the total reason. Okay, so like the throat chakra, if you can't get on board with where you are spiritually and be able to talk about it, you're going to be blocked. And this is going to also block off your intuition. You're going to miss the collective upgrades. Okay. So be able to speak about wherever you are, so if you are a church going person who has just found spirituality, speak to that. If you are a person who the word God makes you uncomfortable, and you right now you're just spiritual and you want to work with angels, speak to that. Like, it's all part of the journey. And as I was saying before my guides interrupted me, was that I have an episode about that, where it's very, very natural to move through this process of you know, maybe growing up with religion and then pushing religion away because you just don't vibe with a lot of the people. Like you see that a lot of people who go to church, like they're not practicing what they preach, right? And it makes us very, you know, wanting to repel away from that because we want to start authentically living our spiritual truth. Okay. So when we start living our authentic spiritual truth and we get really comfortable with spirituality, every time, I swear, the things that start to come in are conspiracy and God comes back. It's very interesting. And the order in which that happens is very individual. But when your third eye opens, you start to see the world as it is. So you're going to notice that things aren't what they tell us. Things aren't what they seem. And you want to explore that. So you go down a lot of rabbit holes. You start, you know, definitely being kind of a conspiratorial thinker, but really you're just questioning. Like when the third eye's open, we start to question everything, which is beautiful. And once you have that, you start to see, and not in a scary way, okay, but you start to see a lot of darkness in the world. And everything on this planet is so yin and yang, and if there's darkness, there's light. And I'm not going to pretend that I have all the answers on what God is and all of that, because I think that there's truth in all the religions, and there's things that we can learn, which is why we should always stay open-minded, listen to others. Maybe you're going to pick up on something that really resonates, that helps you, and that you want to study, you know, for the year of 2026. So I know this is a long tangent based off of just January, but I feel like we're going to be kind of like hit in the face with this choose your path energy. Okay. So like basically where you're just slapped across the face and they're like, either you can like freak out, and actually a lot of people are going to have illness, okay, in 2026. Sorry, that's my 7-year-old. So it's Christmas break. So my kids are home. So one of them's in the shower. You can hear that. The other one, I put out New Year's stuff and he's blowing on one of the horns. And I said, I'm going live, buddy. So can you just be quiet? So apparently that's being quiet, but maybe he's just celebrating. Okay, whatever. Got to roll with it, right? Otherwise I wouldn't be able to pop on. So just have to let the craziness, that's life. So yes, but a lot of tests of our willpower, which will cause anxiety, which that kind of anxiety, when we bottle those things up, can result in illness. So you need to have a very strong spiritual foundation, and you need to have faith in a higher power, whatever that is. Start searching now, because I'm telling you, like end of January, moving into February, we're facing a lot. We're being challenged, okay? And it won't be scary at all if you have that foundation. If he gets much louder, I'm gonna have to. Hey, Berkey, I'm live right now, buddy. Please don't blow the New Year's horn, okay? I know it's you. It's not the cat. Okay. No, please don't come in. Oh my gosh. What? Okay. Do you want to say hi real quick and then you can leave?
No.
I'm literally live. Okay, thank you. Love you. Close the door, please. No more blowing it. Motherhood, so fun. But again, this is, life brings up stuff, right? So I'm kind of trying to approach everything with this steady, nurturing energy. So like, regardless of what my kids do, regardless of like friends testing different things, I plan to attempt to be as level-headed as possible. But when I say that, it's also like this balance spiritually, okay? And like a grounding. So that's kind of my goal for 2026, is to really not worry about the small things, stay focused, and really, really, really prioritize family. That's where my heart is right now. So I don't know what we were saying before that, but doesn't matter. So Natalia says she has anxiety. Yeah. And in general, that probably is because you feel things coming. So like when we have this amped up collective energy, you are going to feel it either like a fire under you that makes you want to get moving, that makes you want to do new things, that makes you want to rip down barriers. There's also some people are going to feel where they just can't take something anymore in their life, and it's a big, like, you know, tarot card tower moment, and they're going to just you know, break up with people. They're going to quit their jobs. They're going to make change because it's not feeling right. And then some people who are, as you just said, unsure of their path, and people who are like spend a lot of time in their head are going to have anxiety. Okay. And as rooted as I am, and as much as I meditate, I have like two sides where I'm like this Zen meditative person, but then pretty much all the other times I have like this anxious energy, and I'm kind of like squirrely and blah, you know, ADD. But you just have to embrace it, and that's okay. Like that's what I think a big problem with our society is, that we think if we have anxiety, something's wrong. That doesn't mean something's wrong, and it doesn't mean that you need to do something about it. We can feel anxiety. We have to learn to breathe through it. You can have moments where you are depressed. You can have moments where you have anxiety. We are supposed to have ups and downs, okay? So when you have these moments of anxiety, so what I do is I'm like, maybe I am neglecting my spiritual wellness. So I'm like, I need to start putting things in place, even if I don't want to. And I make myself meditate, or I make myself listen to some spiritual podcasters that I love. Just anything where I can feel like I'm tapping back into the collective energy and makes me feel lit up inside. So that could even be like, you know, you play the piano, and when you have anxiety, you go play the piano so that you can access that light, because light is connected to our creative self, our solar plex, our sacral chakra. And then that can help our solar plexus shine as our authentic selves. And when we're shining as our authentic selves, we don't even have to be sure of our path. I'm not. I have no idea what's going to happen next year. But you know what I do know? I do know that I am going to focus on the energy I want. So I just did this last night. I'm actually making a vision board. I should do a video on that. But I'm making a vision board. And then I also wanted like a affirmation just to me, like that I could come up with. So I kind of like write down everything that I want. And let's say I want this podcast to grow. Okay. I want to grow our community. So that shouldn't be my focus, and it's not. So instead, why do I want the community to grow? Because in my mind, there's going to be more interaction when I have more people, which a lot of times is the case, right? Like more people will show up to your lives. But I love this community. And so I kind of realized, like, doesn't necessarily have to bring tons of people, but I just need like the right people. Like you all who are here, you are aligned, you are vibing, we are learning and experiencing things off of one another and sharing in this beautiful energy. So I'm trusting the universe that they're going to bring those people to me. So as long as I'm illuminated and come up in front of those people, everything's good. So point being, you don't have to know for sure if you like, you know, let's say you're in between jobs and you're like, I have no idea if I should like take a part-time job in the meantime, or if I should, you know, wait until something that actually lines up with me is available. You have to tune into yourself and be like, what makes you feel good? So like, let's say you're going to go work at Starbucks, okay? You're considering it. And I want you to, like, when you consider these things, close your eyes and picture yourself getting up in the morning and doing shifts at Starbucks. If that makes you like feel a little bit excited because also you do need money, or it makes you feel like, you know, a breath of relief because you need that money, then there's your answer. Okay. That's what you need. That's the path. But that doesn't mean that that's your life path, you know, like, but if that makes you feel heavy and like, I don't want to do that, that's your answer too. We have to follow what lights us up. And that's all you have to know. You do not have to have your path figure it out, because you know what? Even if we think we have it figured out, you know, like when they the saying, um, uh, God laughs when we make plans, or when we make a plan, God laughs, or something like that. But that's how I feel like it is. Like, we think all the time, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm going for that big raise. I want that promotion. And why do you want the promotion? Because in your head, when you picture yourself, you know, with this promotion, what really you're saying is you want to be able to pay your bills when they come in the mail and not get stressed out. You just want like a little financial give freedom, right? You want to enjoy what you're doing, you know, and you want to work with people that you're like excited to go in every day. Well, what if source, the universe, is like, that's so funny that you want that raise because that would have been terrible for you. So you push it because you're like, I know my path. I'm going to push for that raise. Instead, you need to embody the energy. And then the universe is like, you don't need that raise, and brings the right fit for the energy, because the universe only speaks energy. The universe does not care what job you have, does not care what house you live in. But like when you want to move into another house, why? Probably because you want to have like a beautiful place to come home to decompress, to like be cozy. And all of these things, when we start to really break down, because the other things are 3D, really, who cares what you're doing as long as you are lit up, right? And who cares what other people think of your path if you are ecstatic and happy every day? Okay? So, yes, lots of tangents today. I figured there would be. So, yes, Natalia, I'm glad that makes sense. And I just, I always drill that in because I think we get so hung up on our path, and I do too. But really start to picture what you want. You know, maybe like how you want to feel when you're at work, how you want to feel in a relationship. You know, do you want someone who just loves you unconditionally? Do you want someone who's adventurous? Like that's your mind of a perfect relationship. You two just on adventures together. Or like somebody who's spiritual. You know, now that you've found spirituality, maybe you want somebody who also shares that spiritual foundation that you can both grow and explore together, you know? So write all that stuff down. And then, you know, always feel free, you guys, like the silver lining when we do have smaller communities is you guys can message me. So go join the free Patreon, because you can message me on there, or like my email, you can email me, but messaging is probably better. But you can like let me know, okay, this is like all the stuff I want. Can you kind of help me with an affirmation? I will, because I love you guys and I want you to grow, and I want you to be excited about how powerful we are in shaping our realities. It's very true. And especially as a collective, which is why on this live, I'm focusing on collective. And if you're new here, usually we do like, you can ask me questions and things like that. But I wanted to just get us really solidified heading into the new year, okay? Hello, South Haunting Hospitality. Oh yeah, so this is Metatron. So my sister got us matching one. She's a silver one and I have a gold one. And so I saged it so that it would release any old energy and only line up with me. So Archangel Metatron, yeah. All right, so February, we're only in February now. So February, we're continuing this test of our spiritual journey. We're continuing our question of, is this right for me? Is this the right person to listen to? Does this resonate? And you know, sources like, that's okay. Like you can question things because you're supposed to be growing. What they don't want is for you to be in any sort of fear of failure, meaning where you limit yourself instead of allowing yourself to experiment or try different things, date different people, try different jobs, you do not have to have it all figured out. And it's also okay to perhaps, we get so rigid. Like you can follow somebody, follow their YouTube channel and they resonate, and all of a sudden, like they kind of shift into a different path and you're like, nah, I don't like them anymore. That's fine. Like there's so many people. So you shift, you find the next person. We want to have people that we resonate with. Okay. So that's what Spirit is saying for February. Okay. March. So springtime, we have grounding. So I want you to, in March, really ground into this person you are. Reason being, if you can stay on this highest path, this exploration of your highest energy and what's possible for you, there's going to be a lot of opportunities flying in. So by grounding into who you are, you can stay authentic, not get off your path, and also feel confident in your choices, okay? So really grounding into the earth, journaling. I'm hearing journaling would be really good for 2026. Write things down. When we write things down, it's similar to like speaking things into existence. There's so much power behind voice and so much power behind written word. And I would encourage you to do that, not like on your computer, but write it down, okay? And now that I'm thinking again about my vision board, I'm going to do a video for you guys on my vision board, maybe like a bonus video for this week that I'll post. Okay, so if we focus on the opportunities that come in March, it's going to be the opportunity to jump on them. So it's like Source has this message specifically for a few of you. In March, there's going to be something that comes up, some sort of opportunity that requires a leap of faith, that tests your ability to trust in yourself and in the universe, and they want you to jump. They want you to do it. Whether that is a new job, whether that is a new relationship, something profound in March, okay? And if I feel like everyone's going to have something that could pivot everything in March. All right, April, a call to spend time with family, loved ones. So this could be extended family. This could be friends that are like family, right? Our family is the people we love, and I have my spiritual family that I love you guys, and my children that I have, and then also like, of course, your family that you grew up with, right? Siblings and things like that. So I feel like April wants us to spend time with loved ones to really tap into what makes our heart chakra glow. There's going to be, again, spring, opportunity coming to you. And I think it's going to be very easy after you went through all this spiritual work in January, February, to fall back into a lot of like human wants, human desires, 3D stuff, okay? So spend time with loved ones, okay? In May, interesting. There's going to be some sort of collective breaking point. This card, I love it actually. It's like kind of like, it always sounds like a little scary, but the breaking point card is like, enough's enough. I'm not taking this anymore. I've reached my breaking point and I can't like sail on as if things are fine. Like a lot of times if this comes up in like relationship, people maybe like stayed in the relationship for the kids or something like that. And they're at this breaking point and they're like, screw it. I'm done. Like I'm actually done. And that's an exciting energy because you're finally honoring your truth. Okay. So as a collective though, if we are collectively reaching a breaking point, I definitely feel like, so along next to it, I had my trickster card upside down. this is definitely connected to basically us as a human collective, that we are saying we're not buying into it anymore, that we are not believing the lies from the government, that we are not blindly following celebrities. You know, we can see what's really happening, and we're done. Like, we're done being your little puppets. We're done being your workhorses, you know? And there's more of us than them. And I know, like, we always say those things, you know, but it's true. And I feel like there is going to be kind of an uprising and some movements happening around this time, kind of like starting to bubble up in spring and moving into May, probably the whole summer. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of fire energy. Okay, a lot of fiery energy. And in that, the only thing that Spirit's reminding you to do is it's okay, because as a society, as a collective, we needed to reach this point. Okay, you cannot just like have a bunch of things that suck and turn everything around and have it be rainbows and unicorns. We have to destroy the current structure and grow beauty out of it. And, you know, we've all been feeling this for so long. Like, how ridiculous is it that, you know, when two people in a household work, that the two of them together are struggling to pay their mortgage? That's BS, okay? So there's so much just stuff that it's so wrong, and we know it, and we've been bubbling for a while. So I think there's going to be a big change, but we want to be reminded to also stay balanced, okay? Hi, Chuck's Drunken Tarot Time. What a fun name. Do you give drunk tarot readings, or like, do you have lives where everybody brings a drink and you read tarot? Because that sounds fun. I'll have to pop on and bring a glass of wine. Although I'm actually, in January, I'm quitting drinking just to be in that full grounded space, you know, we'll see. You do? That's so fun. Everybody has to go follow Chuck. And I will too. So yes, it is hard to stay balanced. I feel you. And I think you didn't come on when I kind of touched on this earlier, but I also think it's okay not to always feel balanced, right? It's okay to be like revved up in the moment and like charging forward to make change. I think that sometimes we get too lost in this feeling like we need to be like in this balanced state all the time, but that's unrealistic, you know, and we're going to be down sometimes, we're going to be up sometimes. So balance is simply, I think, realizing what's needed for each area of your life. So if you are making like a really big progression forward in the space of career, you know, make sure that you are not completely neglecting family, right? We want balance. You don't want to burn yourself out. And you know, it's stuff that we do know, but like for whatever reason, we need people to remind us. But I think that that's more like what we need to be focused on in terms of balance, you know? But also, like, even right now, so my guides are saying, balance for humans. Like, that there's not this giant wealth gap and freaking people that have stuff wrong with them and can't even go to the doctor because they can't, you know, don't have health insurance. Like, it's all anyway. So I think it's like that too. Balance for everybody, because we have to honor each other. Okay, so June, I see us collectively kind of shifting a bit. So this is kind of like usually like on an individual basis, and also PS, anybody join, like I read tarot, or not tarot, oracle, and I created my oracle deck myself, so that I can like really, because I'm an intuitive reader, so like as I read, I get messages the whole time from my highest self and my guides, and they help me with these cards. So that's why I created my own deck. But so this card, like on an individual basis, usually is like, you're going back to school for something, you know, because you always like, you've been a engineer your whole life and you always had a dream of doing something else. And so you go to school for it, you know, and it's this big shift. So the exciting thing though, because we're reading for the collective, is that in June, I do think some people will individually be making big shifts, okay? But as a collective, it's like we're shifting. And I feel like, and what I'm hearing is the shift is realizing how freaking powerful we are. It's like we know that, like when you are tuned into the spiritual, yes, you know that we're powerful. We know that, right? Do we actually practice it all the time? No. We try to go it alone. And then we have these moments where we get together with our spiritual warriors and we get all pumped up and we're like, yes. And then life happens, right? So again, that's life, balance, whatever. But I think there's going to be a shift where we realize that as a collective, we are so powerful. And this big, big focus on community, finding your communities, expanding your communities, really, really beautiful stuff. Okay. July, there's going to be a lot of duality happening. So this is in a few different ways. So duality with the collective, meaning there's going to be kind of this feeling of having a very hard time splitting between spiritual me and human me. Because when we make this collective shift, it's almost like a part of it, like they're saying hive mind, like, but where collectively we can manifest things, we can make change. But when you're in that space of collective creation, it's sometimes hard because, you know, you can't, like a lot of people at their jobs aren't able to come in, you know, with their tarot cards that day and be like, everybody sit on the floor and we'll, you know, some people might be able to, and maybe that'll become more common, but it's a split, you know, where we do feel split. Chuck says we get glimpses of our collective power every once in a while. Yeah, and it would be great if we really ran with it. I feel like it's coming, and I feel like we all feel that, you know, as a collective, all year we've been feeling like something's coming, and it feels like this big mix of, yes, maybe bad stuff, but if you're really tuned in, like we can feel how good it is. There's going to be some big change. 2026. Also in August, we are really, really finding a good balance between our human self and our spiritual self and moving into a place where we no longer create narratives for ourselves. So this is like my secrets that we tell ourselves card, and it was upside down, meaning we're moving out of. So a lot of times, like even with trauma, with relationships, the way we get through day to day as humans, we tell ourselves these stories, you know, like if you're in a relationship and kind of, you know, inside you're wriggling around, you're like, I want to get out of this relationship, but you stay because you're like, you tell yourself this story, you know, but things can get better. And I need to work on my communication and I really see the good in them and blah, blah, blah. Like we have these narratives that we tell ourselves to keep everything clean on paper, you know, so that we can completely understand it, that we know the path we're on. When we lose that illusion, we're going to be very true to ourselves. And I feel this beautiful balance moving into the fall where, yeah, I can feel the energy right now. Like where we're really just feeling, I don't know, like it's like a cradling safe energy. Maybe like I could even say like Mother Earth energy, right? This beautiful communal Mother Earth nurturing energy, where you really feel good about who you are and what you're doing and what you're moving towards. For September, November, yeah. September, we are going to be tested again a little bit more as collective. So there's going to be, once again, kind of like some false false people to follow, people maybe coming up that are making a big splash in the spiritual community, or like movements, like side movements that perhaps, and well, maybe they're not even like bad, but maybe they're just not good for us, you know? And we are going to be kind of tested to be able to tune into that and feel what's right for us and what's not right for us. We have to be very discernment. Okay, September, discernment. Okay. October, where did I put my December card? Wait, October. October is connect to the earth. So that kind of makes sense, is that when we are, because I just said the Mother Earth energy. So it's like, you know, we're finding this Mother Earth energy. Some people are breaking off on little side groups, you know, side tangents, whatever. And when we settle into the right things for us and it feels aligned, we're going to be able to truly feel collected. And I feel like this is more so our path. You know, just feel very, and I'm here like steadfast, just like being able to charge forward without question. Okay. So a lot of this kind of exciting stuff. November, death card. Okay. I know, scary looking, but we've already talked about how there's going to be a like big change in 2026. So I feel like, and again, this is collective, so don't worry, like it's not necessarily like you and your individual life, but on a collective level, I do feel like, and I don't even want to say that, but I think a lot of us feel this, but well, first, just collectively, certain ideas are going to die, right? But there is going to be some people exiting. Okay. I think that we're going to experience a lot of things in that area in 2026. And I don't want to put us collectively put a focus on that. Instead, I want us to collectively like think about what we can do to make this a good year and a positive year, right? Yeah, absolutely. Transformation. Yes. Good points, Chuck. Natalia, I'd like to go to Pagan Pride Day in September. Yeah, like follow those. Like if something resonates, do it, right? And if, you know, for a lot of us, it's we can't do it because money, right? Picture yourself there and start to embody that energy right now, okay? And the universe will be like, oh, she wants to do that. Okay, we need to provide her with the means to do that. And it's really that simple. The universe really listens to the energy, okay? December. So wrapping up 2026, a lot of people are going to understand their purpose as a healer. I believe everyone is a healer. Everyone's a healer. Everyone's a reader. We all have like special areas. And that's kind of like the fun part about going down the spiritual path is like discovering your strengths and things. But we all heal. We heal ourselves. That's, you know, the whole point of life, our path, healing. But we also heal each other. And so many people are healers and they don't even realize it, you know, like even if in the morning you go and get coffee every day from this one place and there's, you know, a young woman who just like she looks like she's filled with light and possibility and hope, and every time you see her in her bright eyes, like she just lights you up, like you just feel like this beautiful anything's possible energy. And she's probably like in this, you know, example, healing something within you to help you release some old belief to be able to embody that energy because you're vibing with it, right? So, and this person has no idea they're a healer. They're healing through vibes, healing through light, healing through probably actually putting love into the cup of coffee even that they hand you. We can put love into everything. And that is really what it all comes down to. Yeah, Chuck says, politically, it would be great if we can start doing what's right, and it will be a total possible healing for the country. We do need it. I agree. Yeah, you're right. Like, so as a country, as a collective, we've been through it. And I think, yeah, you're right. Like, we have a lot of trauma wounds as a collective of having times where we thought XYZ was going to help and fix and turn things around, and then we're just let the F down. And it has happened a lot. But I do feel like 2026 is a new time. But I think, Chuck, that we're the hero, you know? And like us as a collective, and it's fine to like have people, like certain people start things, you know, like I say this, but then you guys repeat the same message, you know, it's like a ripple effect. Like, we are all supposed to spread this vibration. It's all about the vibration. Okay. So I think we should never, I fall into that trap a lot of like feeling like I need a white horse to come in, a knight on a white horse to come in. But it's us. Like, we are the knight. You know, all of these things are within us, and we just need to tap into them. And perhaps we get the strength from someone else for a little while, but you know, we can lean on people. We're meant to. We're human. We need each other. But yeah, so I think, you guys, I think it's going to be good. Okay. And we will, of course, continue to do like other readings, like month to month and stuff, and look at really hitting one. Sorry, we got started late with the technical issues. But I love you all. Thank you, new people who joined. And if you're finding this later on the repost, it was still meant for you. You were still meant to feel in this energy, and I hope you can feel those good vibes. Chuck, yes. I'm going to definitely come check out your channel, and yeah, good vibes, right? Yeah, but in a real way, not in a spiritual, you know, BS way that makes people feel bad, because you know what I mean? Like, people who kind of like spiritually gaslight you and like, good vibes. Yes, like actual good vibes with each other and loving one another. Okay, so we didn't get to the animal card, but that's okay. Next one. Okay, so like I said, I'm also going to try to get that vision board stuff posted for you, and talk a little bit more about like when I was talking about your personal affirmation. Okay, so go check out my Patreon. I just started these private like chats for each level, like even free. You can chat on there and commune and feel into each other and ask me questions, and I'd be happy to help you find like your personal affirmation for 2026, whatever you need. Yeah. All right, thank you, you guys. That means a lot. Like, I just yep, just gave me like little heart chills. Ooh, chills all over my body now. Okay. All right. I love you guys. See you later. Bye.